we're going to take a look at the Warner albums that Mike Oldfield released between 1992 and 2003. When Mike left Virgin, which he was happy to do in 1991, he had toyed with the idea of recording a sequel to his magnum opus, Tubular Bells. I think he just did not want to give Virgin that album because he was very unsatisfied with the way that the music industry was going and Virgin itself. So when he got free from Virgin and signed to Warner Brothers, along came Tubular Bells II. So Tubular Bells II, this was the first release on the Warner Brothers label, WEA, Warner Electra Asylum. Pretty good. It sounds very familiar, but if you put it back to back with the original Tubular Bells, it does sound inverted. So you have very similar ideas. It flows the same way, but it's not identical. He was kind of, it's almost like versions of a theme from the original. It was pretty big at the time. I think it was released on August 31st, 1992. I think I got it on the day it came out. There was a concert, the premiere, at Edinburgh Castle on the 4th of September. That was a Friday, I think. I remember recording it off the TV with a VHS recorder. So Bells 2 is broken up into 14 tracks. Sentinel, which was the first single to be released of it. Dark Star, Clear Light, Blue Saloon, Sunjammer, Red Dawn, The Bell. The Bell is similar to the end of Tubular Bells Part 1. The instruments are named out, and it's done here by Alan Rickman. Then you have Weightless, The Great Plains, Sunset Door, Tattoo, that was also a single. Altered State, that's like the Piltdown Man. Maya Gold, Moonshine, again a country version of the Sailor's Hornpipe, I guess. This was produced by Trevor Horn and Tom Newman. Funny, because I don't really hear Trevor Horn's trademarks in this one. I really like Trevor Horn as a producer. He's one of my favourite producers. But I don't really hear him on this. It's quite slick, you know. Sometimes it's, in retrospect, I think it goes into easy listening a little bit. But it sets up the sound structure and the sound stage that Mike used throughout the 90s, all through Warner's. Yeah. There's some good bits on here. I like the way Dark Star kicks in. This is actually my original copy. Now this was pretty big back then. Yeah, you got a lot of mileage out of it. Some people don't really like it. They say it's a little bit too kind of sweet and too syrupy, but you know, that's it. That's the sequel. So there you have it. Next up is the Songs of Distant Earth, based on the novel and writings of Arthur C. Clarke. Yeah, this one I think it is dated for me. I don't really listen to it that much. I did back then. I got this when it came out in '94. Everything is electronic at this stage. All the drums, all the sequences and loops. Yeah, in the beginning, Let There Be Light, I think that was a single. It's just a little bit too long, you know, it just kind of meanders a little bit. It's broken up into 17 tracks. Hibernaculum as well. Some of it sounds like Enigma, you know, the monks chanting, and the it kind of, it's not very exciting, you know. And like I said, as time has gone on, it's the box is gone there. As time has gone on, you know, it's one I hardly ever listen to. Yeah. It's of its time. You know, there's a lot of people doing that kind of thing back then. You know, his guitar playing as well as very muted on it. You know, the guitar solos are very muted, and there's a kind of lots of effects. I think he was using a Roland guitar synth at the time and stuff like that. The system. So yeah, it wouldn't be my favourite by any means. This is another version of it. I think it came out the year after. This just has different artwork because it's got a CD-ROM track, which is, again, it's just like, oh, it's got you know, computer graphics and stuff like that, and you know, and there you go. I only bought this because it was really cheap. It's a collector's item for me. You know, it's got graphics from the videos and stuff like that. Really primitive now. Completely different artwork. So it's kind of a novelty, really. The rest of the album is exactly the same. There's no difference. Next up is Voyager. This was released in the late summer of 1996. This one, I'll be totally honest, when I bought it back then, I think I rushed out to buy it. I was disappointed. To me, it's just easy listening. It's just a little bit tame. Some of the melodies are great and everything, but it's you kind of get the feeling that he was able to do this in his sleep. You know, it's got some traditional stuff on there. Song of the Sun, Celtic Rain, The Hero, Women of Ireland, Voyager, She Moves Through the Fair. Nice, you know, but I would say this is background music. Dark Island, Wild Goose Flaps Its Wings, Flowers of the Forest, Mont Saint Michel, is it? Michel? I don't know. Mont Saint Michael. Yeah, I think there's an orchestra and stuff on that, but overall, this is one like that this is one I wouldn't be putting on, you know. It's just, I would I can't, the photographs are a bit, yeah, photographs are gas. I don't know, it's just, like I said, it's disappointing, and when I see it, I never play it. It's just nothing in there that grabs me, and it's just passive, you know. Tubular Bells II. This was released in August 1998. Again, I ran out and bought this, and I'd say I was disappointed. It's mainly techno and dance, you know. Source of Secrets, The Watchful Eye. It's all sequencing, and you know, something that he's probably did the whole thing himself. Jewel in the Crown. Outcast. That's a kind of a take on the Piltdown Man from Tubular Bells, which I think is one of the best things in it. I like the guitars on it and stuff like that. Serpent Dream, The Inner Child, Man in the Rain. That song has got the original drum track, I think, from Moonlight Shadow, taken from the master. The Top of the Morning. Again, very, 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 very syrupy and stuff. Moonwatch Secrets Far Above the Cloud. It's atmospheric, and it's got, you know, a bit of techno and stuff, you know. Then he was living, I think, in a beat at the time. Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, if you crank it up and stuff like that, but it could be anybody. You know, it could be anybody. That's the problem. I mean, the signature guitar sound is there, but with the backing sequencing, it could be anybody. That's the problem with this album. Next up is guitars. This is from 1999. This one is a bit better. Everything on it is created by a guitar. All the percussion, everything is all guitar. Acoustics, electrics, the whole shebang. But it's okay. I kind of grate after a while, you know. It's yeah. I think one of the best tracks on it is Cochise. It's an Indian tribe, I think, from North America. That's a great track. Sometimes as well the guitar sound, it sounds like it's recorded directly into the disc and stuff like that. It's kind of blary and buzzy, fizzy, you know, that kind of, it sounds like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I like this, that's great. Some of Mike's guitars here, his 60s Strat, and there's another one here. That was I think he's sold most of these now. You can see the Paul Reed Smith guitars. There's his hoop. Some nice stuff on this, but again, it doesn't really captivate. You know, I definitely wouldn't call it an essential album, but you know, you can pick it up really cheaply if you're interested. As well as that, all the Warner stuff, the 8 albums come in a box set, and I think you can buy that. Well, it might be out of print now, but they come in miniature sleeves and stuff like that. That's a great idea if you want to get the Warner stuff. Okay, the Millennium Belt. This was released in late 1999 for the Millennium, the biggest anticlimax in the history of man. And there was a concert as well, I think. This one, I've never really got into it. I played it a few times. I bought it when it came out. Peace on Earth, Passion Mana. There's a lot of chanting and stuff like that, and you know, it's meant to be a kind of a soundtrack for the last 1,000 years or something like that. But this one here, a bit like James Bond theme, Mastermind. But again, it fails to captivate me. Steve notes and stuff like that. But I wouldn't really be gone on it. Yeah, it's just like not very memorable. You know, definitely not one that I'd be into. Next is Pre Luna, and that is from 2002. It's called my Goldfields Chill Out album. This one again, all synth, all atmospheric. It just could be anybody, you know. It sounds like stuff that he is doing in his sleep, you know. Very easy listening, but it's boring. There's a kind of a free demo of Music VR. It was a 3D interactive PC game that he was developing, and this is basically the soundtrack to it. Yeah. And some graphics from the game. Hard to believe that this album is 20 years old now. Yeah, another forgettable one for me. I bought it, and I you know, you just know that it's just not very interesting. And then Tubular Bells 2003. This is a digital version of the original album. I think he mapped out the time signatures and the sequences from the original master tape, and used some MIDI, and he felt that some of the original had instruments that were out of tune and the timing was out and all this kind of stuff, so he decided to release 2003 on the 30th anniversary of the original Tubular Bells, and it was also Mike's 50th birthday at the time. Yeah, I find it a bit sterile. This is one of those horrible copy protected albums. This is sliced into 17 pieces. There's also a DVD audio version of it, which I have. It also came in a standard CD box as well, as a double. Yeah, I must give it a listen again soon to compare it and stuff like that. But it just sounds very clean. It just tells you all the gear he used here. Soft synths and stuff like that. The amps, Fender Twin, Reverb, Mesa Boogie, electric guitars, Fender Telecaster 65, Fender Strat 63, the pink one, PRS signatures, the wall bass, all the acoustics, all the keyboards, pianos and organs. So there's a lot of real instruments on here, but it's still all the hard drive, I guess. Yeah, so that's Tubular Bells 2003. Next year we'll be coming up to the 50th anniversary of Tubular Bells. Hard to believe. Next up is a rather nice package. It's the 30th anniversary 3 CD limited edition of Tubular Bells 30. This was released also in 2003. Now it says here the complete Tubular Bells, but that is not really true. It's the complete Tubular Bells on Warner Brothers. So what you get here is a lavish package with Tubular Bells 2003 in a unique picture disc, which is totally unique to this set. Also get Tubular Bells 2. There you go. And Tubular Bells 3. Again, all picture discs. And then there's a DVD, but it's actually not the full version of the album. So yeah, so it's a bit misleading, but it's still nice to have. I mean, I don't mind Tubular Bells 2003. John Cleese is the master of ceremonies on that one. 3 doesn't have any master of ceremonies. So I remember buying this back in 2003, and you know, I was in a Virgin Megastore and I saw it and I got excited and went, oh god, gotta have it. But the thing is, I realised it wasn't remastered or something like that, and I got a bee in my bonnet and I took it back. I don't know what I was thinking. I think I ended up buying Led Zeppelin How the West Was Won instead, the triple CD. But yeah, it's nice, you know, it's a very nice collector's item. The actual DVD has introduction, which is only about 5 minutes, fast guitars, 104, and then the basses. So it's only, you know, an introduction, 5.1. I actually do have Tubular Bells 2003 in the surround DVD audio. That's in a separate package. Came as part of Tubular Bells live at Edinburgh Castle. But yeah, so this is a nice collector's item. I just bought this again recently. In fact, it just came today in the post, and I picked it up pretty cheaply, and it's in mint condition. So yeah, it's a nice collector's item, and you know, it will look good on the shelf. Finally, we have the best of 1992 to 2003. Now, this actually was released in 2015. There's also a box set of all the Warner albums, and they come in miniature sleeves and stuff like that. But this one is cool because you get 18 tracks in kind of a greatest hits package, but then the CD2 has rarities and mixes, which is kind of more or less what I bought this for. This was quite cheap. So you have early stages, and they were B-sides from Sentinel, and Silent Night was another B-side from Tattoo. Then the Bell remix, MC Billy Connolly, Spectral Army, Song of the Boatmen, Indian Lake, they came from the Songs of Distant Earth. Mike's Real, not too sure about that. Sentinel, Tubular Bells mix. I know the Orb did a remix and it was awful. It's just all kind of atmospheric noise. Then you've Let There Be Light, and that was BT's Pure Luminescence remix, kind of housey stuff. Women of Ireland, System 7 12-inch mix. Far Above Clouds, Jam and Spoon mix, To Be Free, Solutions mix, Tickle mix, Tickle mix, and Thou Art in Heaven, Pumpin' Dolls versus Mighty Mike club mix. So there. Itself a selection from the Warners. Discs are just plain black, nothing to write home about. And then some extensive sleeve notes, which is good. These are some of the single covers. Just a nice touch as well. Yeah, so again, a nice collector's item to tie in the collection on Warner's. So that's it. That's all I have to say. I hope you enjoyed this video, and again, feel free to subscribe and take care.